Hi, I'm Gene Armstrong from Jal, New Mexico, and I fly the Japanese Val dive bomber here.
My name's Gary Hudson. I'm part of the Tora group, which is a subgroup of the Confederate Air Force.
Yeah, this aircraft was built by 20th Century Fox back in 1966 and 67 in order to make the movie Tora, Tora, Tora.
20th Century Fox built about 60 airplanes for the movie.
They built it out of a BT-13.
Front half is a North American AT-6. The back half is a Vultee BT-13.
After the Tora Tora movie was finished, well, then it worked into Midway and Pearl and most of the Baa Black Sheep series. And after that, the movie company put it up for sale. And the Confederate Air Force ended up with 6 or 7 of the aircraft, and the rest of them were just sold to individuals.
This airplane right here is a replica of a Nakajima Kate. Was codenamed Kate by the Allies. It was a torpedo bomber. One of the things that I really enjoy about it is meeting the old World War II veterans, the guys that really were there. Not only the Americans, in the 12 years that I've been doing this, I've met a lot of Japanese pilots. My general impression is that they were doing a job that they were told to do. They were doing it to the best of their ability. The majority of the people that I have met in doing this in 12 years with these airplanes, they've been very positive. They see it as a history lesson. They see it as an example of something that should never happen again by either side. The Japanese pilots that I've talked to say, you know, we shouldn't have done that. And so, you know, the motto of the Confederate Air Force is, lest we forget. And that's the general purpose behind the Confederate Air Force, is to show the airplanes and to keep the memory alive of the people that built them, serviced them, and flew them during World War II.
The time, 7:55. The place, the island of Oahu, Pearl Harbor. You are there! Ladies and gentlemen of Japan, has just invaded our island base at Pearl Harbor. The Nakajima B-5N Kate, the Mitsubishi A6M0, and the Nakajima B-5N Kate. These aircraft of the Imperial Japanese Navy at 7:55 in the morning invaded our base, and for the next 2.5 hours continued what you see here in front of you today. Feel the heat. Listen to the sounds of war and the concussion. And here's the date, December the 7th, 1941, and America is drawn in ceremony back into a war which it neither wanted to be involved in, nor was it prepared for. The Japanese Mitsubishi Zero was faster, lighter, longer range than anything we had in the fleet. Even the FM-2 Wildcat and the P-40 Warhawks, they were able to get off the field at Hickam, and Bellows were unprepared and unable to fight diligently with the Mitsubishi Zero. Listen to our President Franklin Roosevelt as he spoke to America.
A date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
But indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Admiral Yamamoto said to his people, yes, we were victorious that morning, but I fear we have done nothing more than to have awakened a sleeping giant.
The aircraft's got a real comfortable cockpit in it here. There's quite a bit of room, but during the Tora Tora Act, I come in low behind the Kates, pop up in the middle of the air show center, go into a dive bombing act, and I'll be working up higher than the other aircraft, doing more or less a split S from about 1,000 feet. It's a basic maneuver. You're flying along, level flight, slow the airplane down to approximately 100 to 120, pull the nose up, aileron over, left rudder, release the pressure on the aircraft, pull up at about 300 foot, nothing to it.
When they set these charges off on the ground, you can really feel it in the airplane if they set it off a little close to you. There's a real hard bump when you fly through one of these things. And of course, if you're unfortunate enough to fly through one of the clouds, one of the explosions itself, there's no oxygen in there, so the engine dies, and that always gets your attention. But normally they set them off behind us. They're professionals just like we are, and they're good guys, and we trust them.
Come on, people, as these aircraft, the Tora taxi by, you want to make sure they know you appreciate what they did for them. Give them away.